Today, I'm diving deep into my backyard to discover what's really happening in the bird world right outside my window. As we gaze out into our backyards, it's easy to think of birds as just a pleasant soundtrack to our daily lives. But have you ever stopped to think about what's really going on in that bird world? The chirping, the flitting between branches, the occasional squabble, it's all part of a complex social dynamic that's happening right under our noses. Understanding these feathered creatures can be quite the challenge. Many of us think of birds as simply visiting our feeders, but their behaviors run much deeper than that. We often see them as solitary creatures, only coming together during mating season, but the paired interactions are much more intricate. It's common to assume that birds are primarily driven by instinct, but as we observe them closely, we start to notice patterns that suggest a level of communal cooperation. Let's take a closer look at what happens when birds gather in our backyards. Feeding habits, for instance, are not just about survival, they're also about social hierarchy. Some birds will aggressively chase others away from feeders, establishing dominance. Then there are the birds that seem to have a more let's say, diplomatic approach. They'll often wait for the dominant birds to leave before swooping in to grab a snack. It's a delicate balance of power and strategy. Territorial disputes are another fascinating aspect of backyard bird life. Birds will fiercely defend their territory against intruders, often using a variety of calls and visual displays to ward them off. But what's interesting is how some birds will form alliances to protect their territory, showcasing a level of cooperation that's both surprising and intriguing. Social structures within bird communities are also more complex than we think. Some species form long-term and monogamous relationships, while others engage in elaborate courtship rituals. Ever wondered if birds actually talk to each other? It turns out they do in their own way. Birds communicate through a variety of calls, songs, and even body language. They can warn each other of predators, signal the location of food, and even engage in what can only be described as gossip. This complex communication network is essential for their survival and social interactions. The bird world is full of surprising insights. For example, some bird species are known to engage in playful activities, like sliding down snowy hills or playing with objects. This playful behavior is crucial for their development and social bonding. It's a side of birds that we don't often see, but it's essential to understanding their full story. As we wrap up our journey into the backyard bird world, let's summarize the key points. We've explored their feeding habits, territorial disputes, social structures, and communication methods. Each of these aspects reveals a world that's rich with interaction, strategy, and even play. If you've been inspired to take a closer look at the birds in your backyard, I'd love to hear about your experiences in the comments. And if you're eager to learn more about birdwatching, be sure to check out my next video where I'll be sharing some expert tips to help you get started.